Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday on this May 14th, 2024. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett live here, streaming on News 6 Plus for your smart TV and clickorlando.com. Hope you're keeping dry out there this morning. It's a weather alert day. We picked up plenty of rain last night, and meteorologist Candace Campos is very, very busy in the weather center, and she's going to get us updated on what we can expect with today. But we're already off to a busy start. Good morning, Candace.
Good morning, Bridget. Yeah, we are still talking about that potential for strong to severe storms today. So once again, it's going to be a weather alert day. It's just been a very active couple days, and it's all because of a front just to our north that's just continuing to just surge moisture into Central Florida, bringing in those kind of pulses of energy that when you have that east and west coast sea breeze that we've been dealing with for the past couple of weeks, that adds to that lift. It adds more, kind of juices up the atmosphere. And just like a hot air balloon, hot air lifts. So when you start getting those temperatures in the mid 90s today, you have that sea breeze collision. All of that creates that lift. And the bigger the lift, the stronger the storms. So let's show you the maps, what's going on across Central Florida. Earlier this morning, the National Weather Service issued a tornado watch. That means that all the ingredients to produce a rotating storm or two will be possible. That does not mean that we're tracking anything just yet. Right now, we're dry across most of Central Florida. This tornado watch does include areas of Flagler, Marion, and Sumter County until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Will it get extended further south? Will we have a severe thunderstorm watch? That we'll have to wait and see. But we certainly do have a juiced up atmosphere. It is primed to develop those strong storms. Now, we're watching this line of rain, some lightning right now being picked up right along 75 in Alachua, about to approach Gainesville in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Areas just to the north and west of Marion County might get in on a little bit of rain, but that main line still to the north. So with that being said, weather alert day, that basically is a designation that the News 6 weather team issues for viewers. It's nothing official from the National Weather Service, but it's from us wanting to show you that today's one of those days you want to keep weather on top of mind, keeping your eyes to the sky, having the conversation with your kids, especially those who are walking home from school today, that they will have to, of course, keep their eyes to the sky. Now, the timing, we're going to see that first round of storms throughout the first half of the morning. Then that next round between 1 and 8 p.m. will come back into play with that sea breeze collision, high instability. As of now, that severe impact. We're going to have the gusty winds. We're going to have that lightning. But what's going to make it that severe criteria, and that's going to be those strong wind gusts upwards about 45 to 60 miles per hour, as well as small kind of coin-sized hail. So with that, we have that severe risk for all of Central Florida highlighted in that yellow. That's a level 2. This is official from the Storm Prediction Center. That is indicating we're at a level 2 out of 5 for a severe risk. This means an isolated threat. This does not look like a severe weather outbreak. We've had times where we've been in that enhanced. Would that be that level 3? Today, it's not that high. It's up to a level 2. Still worth certainly keeping your eyes to the sky on, and I'll show you here why. Clouds and rain forecast showing those scattered showers from that line approaching our northwestern zones between about 9 and 11 o'clock. Again, we're going to estimate this just a little bit. Models still are having a hard time really grasping onto the timing and the intensity of these storms. So again, we're going to give you kind of time ranges rather than exact timing. You can see those scattered storms will continue to track towards the I-4 corridor between about, let's say, 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Those pockets of some strong storms will be surrounded by sunny skies, and you don't want that. The moment we have the hot sunshine warming us up down at the surface, you get these storms coming in. They just got so much fuel to eat as it crosses the state. Then by 4 or 5, 6 o'clock, we'll have some of those storms kind of pin themselves along our coastline. I'm going to hold that chance of rain till at least sundown, and then we're going to see a little bit of a lull by about the 9, 10 o'clock hour. We're going to stay dry throughout the majority of your morning. That all changes starting at about sunrise on Wednesday. The severe threat is not as high as of now, and that's because we're going to see an earlier start to the rain on Wednesday. You can see the cloud cover already moving in by daybreak, so we won't have as much heating of the day to bring up that threat for some storms. But widespread rain will be expected tomorrow as well. Looking at your rain chances for today, about a 50 to 70% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then that threat widens out. Let's look here. This is 8 a.m. on Wednesday. You can see the big swath, that main system that has been sending all that energy, Bridgett, will finally make its way into Central Florida, bringing with it a whole lot of rain. Some of the modeling picking up between 1 to 2 inches when this line is all set and done with by about 5, 6 o'clock on Wednesday. So although the chance of rain is higher on Wednesday because it's more widespread and it's starting earlier, the severe threat won't be as high. So looking at your rain chances for Wednesday, we're up to about a 70 to 90% chance for some of that rain. So as we take you here throughout the next few hours, again, that weather impact day will really be focused after about 9 a.m. through about 4 o'clock, coverage up to about 50%. But don't forget, it's still going to be extremely hot and humid as well. Highs will be in the mid 90s, feeling like 100 to 105. And then we're going to keep that rain in the forecast. A very good chance on Wednesday. We'll taper off the rain Thursday and Friday, and we'll get back to that summer setup as we head into your weekend. But a whole lot of weather to digest. The moral of the story here is making sure you're weather aware. It looks like today and tomorrow will be weather alert days. So making sure you have your Pinpoint weather app. You can enable your notifications to make sure that you get the notifications. Let's say your kids, hold on. My alerts are going off. Hold on. Let's say you have family and let's say your kids are going on a field trip and they're going to be in St. Augustine today and you know the weather is going to be threatening them. You could set your settings, Bridgett, to alert you for St. Augustine kind of weather too. So if there is a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning that you want to know, then you could also add that. It's very customizable. It's a fantastic tool, especially one that you really want to get used to using as we head into the busy summer months.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
So we want to get over to Trooper Steve. We also have some news to get to, as well as Dr. Larissa is joining us this morning to talk about women's health as well as aging and menopause. We have her live coming up. We're also going to take a look at sleep apnea and as well as a preview of Hitting the Road tomorrow to Montverde. But speaking of hitting the road, Trooper Steve is back out in Results 1, and it's good to see you. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Sorry, I'm trying to get some information about an email I just saw reference traffic information going on, so I can update you guys with the proper information here. And I don't know much about it yet, so we're good to go.
Okay.
Things are interesting out there. So we had a lot of overnight crashes that just stayed lingering. And of course, I always say, if it's not going to inconvenience you, I don't report the crash.
Okay.
Other places will bombard their screen, but a fatal crash just came out. Let's see where we're at. Don't see any cameras in that area, but we're talking a crash up in Marion at Rainbow Springs Boulevard at Southwest 157th Terrace in Ocala. There is a fatal crash. I don't have it updated on my map, but I figured I'd get that out to you there. But we can go. I'm going to attempt to control this amazing program from my truck this morning.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and take Max 3. Things looking pretty good outside right now, or Lynx 3, excuse me. We changed the name. I-4 looking pretty good this morning. No problems east or westbound as Ezzy Castro walks by my truck at the moment. Things look pretty good out in this area. We're pretty smooth when it comes to I-4 traffic. However, out here on the east side, State Road 46 westbound is currently shut down in the Mims area, Morgan Alderman Road, for a serious crash. Please avoid this area if you can. And then those delays are starting to build westbound I-4 out in Seminole County. These are standard. We normally see this. So westbound I-4 from Lake Mary to Maitland, only a 10-minute drive, but they have us sitting in the yellow. And then from John Young all the way through, only a 27 minutes. Completely different if you're headed in the opposite direction. 37 minutes, Champions Gate to 408. So that's sitting in the red. That's a pretty serious drive time. Crash still hanging out there at Kirkman, just north there of Old Winter Garden. So be careful. But 429, you're looking good. Bridgett, I'll be out in that area today again along for a nice scenic route. We did have a crash cleared out along Curry Ford and 436. The rest of us not doing too bad when it comes to our attractions area, iDrive, and things like that. 528 looking clear for us. So with that weather coming in, we just need to make sure, Bridgett, that people are paying attention. Like Candace has said, it is a weather alert day. So that drive home could be an interesting one. So just need drivers to make sure that they're paying attention.
Yeah, take your time for sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, thank you, Trooper Steve. Be safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we do have a little bit of news to get to, just really some shocking video. We want to warn you, it could be disturbing to watch. Our Ezzy Castro has more about a local principal from a Christian school who was in jail this morning. There was some abuse caught on camera, and this man has defended himself, saying he was trying to stop the student from harming himself. But here's Ezzy with more.
It's surveillance video that might be rough to watch. It shows what deputies say is the principal of Destiny Leadership Academy physically assaulting a student in the classroom. Moments later, you can see him putting the student in a chokehold for minutes.
So, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a security camera in that room. There is. Yeah, and it caught everything on camera.
Marion County Sheriff's Office say the principal seen in the video is 33-year-old Dante Prophet, who was arrested over the weekend on child abuse charges.
You're under arrest, okay? For aggravated child abuse.
According to an arrest affidavit, it was a staff member who had initially heard screaming from a classroom and reported it. The document went on to say that Prophet began to, quote, poke and grab the student's inner thighs, trying to get a hold of him, and even used a computer charger to hit him. After he was arrested, Prophet told deputies he did it because he didn't want the student to leave class, because the student allegedly indicated he might harm himself.
Such a disturbing story. We'll keep you posted on any developments, new developments with that. A shocking story this morning in our consumer news and our local employment news. Several Red Lobster locations are closed. The company is auctioning things off, and this is leaving hundreds of employees without a job right now. And of course, you know, restaurant goers are in shock as well. Mark Lehman has more.
It's a sudden shutdown happening at Red Lobster locations across the country. After years of financial struggles, dozens of restaurants in the U.S. have abruptly closed, with those employees now out of work, the doors locked, and signs posted. That's what we saw at the Red Lobster on West Colonial Drive Monday. The location joining 6 others in Central Florida. 3 in Orlando have shut down, along with locations in Kissimmee, Leesburg, Sanford, and Altamont Springs. Red Lobster has not commented on the closings, but a website says it's auctioning off more than 50 locations nationwide. Billed as the largest restaurant equipment auction ever, the entire contents of each closed location are now up for grabs. All of this is happening after the Orlando-based company's main investor cut ties with the chain earlier this year. A popular $20 endless shrimp promotion contributing to an $11 million loss in the third quarter, and Red Lobster has had 3 CEOs in the past 2 years.
So, I mean, you know, this is the home of Red Lobster, so that's just a really shocking story. Hopefully we can find out a little bit more about it, but it's interesting how they, like, that endless promotion they're saying had something to do with it. So it is some shocking local business news. We'll keep you updated. And now we want to get to our live guest this morning. We have Dr. Larissa Ferdinand with us, just known as Dr. Larissa. And she's one of my mom friends. And I'm excited to have you on, Dr. Larissa, because you have your specialty of women's health. You've been practicing OBGYN for 20 years plus, and you are passionate about a lot of the things that are the exciting things happening in like more holistic care. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Bridgett.
And I am excited to hear about how you can share some of the more promising developments of how we can grow older gracefully and I guess with more strength, because that's top of mind right now as a lot of people are celebrating being in menopause. I've noticed lately we've had like Halle Berry and Tyra Banks and people like that coming out of the woodwork, and they're like, hey, I'm in menopause and, you know, this is pretty cool. But I don't recall that type of thing happening before now.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I think the biggest thing is to remember it is a natural process. It is not a disease or something that's considered pathological. I like to call it a transition because many women are going to start experiencing symptoms of menopause around their 40s, and about 5% of women will go through natural early menopause between 45 or average age is about 51. So, and imagine this, about 1.3 million people will be, women will be in menopause every year, or approximately 6,000 go through it every day. But this is what I like about it. I don't know about you. My mom didn't talk to me about
Oh, they didn't
menstrual
talk about
periods or menopause.
anything. But it was
Exactly.
because no one
So
talked to them.
absolutely, absolutely. So I think a lot of the limelight that I like a lot is that it's it's given that opportunity to let's talk about it.
Hmm.
Let's have free conversation before you even get there. Be proactive, be preventive, and that's a lot about what I do in the integrative space.
Hmm.
Is taking those traditional principles and making sure that we encompass that whole body connection because
Hmm.
we're more than just one segment of menopause. Many,
Hmm.
many of us are going through many other transitions in our life.
Yes, and we're talking about women's health. I know we had a story this morning on the morning news about low testosterone and all the things that sort of branch off of that for men. And so when we
Hmm.
look at how your body changes and different chemicals and different levels of different things change over time, how can we combat that when working with our healthcare providers and just trying to find balance and feel good, feel energetic, feel healthy?
Yes. And if I had to start one place, is number one, being self aware. By the time I feel like a woman comes to me, she suffered for way
Hmm.
too long. And a lot of times you need to be accountable to what is going on inside of you. And the thing
Mhm.
is, trust yourself. Many of us know what's going on. We
Mhm.
know that something's not right. And I have a big thing about normal is not optimal.
Mhm.
Normal is not necessarily okay. And so many of those things have to do with number one, being self aware, the
Mhm.
transitions and the things that are changing in your body as you progress in each decade of your life.
Mhm.
Number two, when you go see your medical provider, be prepared. Many of us are going down rabbit holes of Dr. Google. We're
Oh my
talking
goodness,
to our
yes.
friends privately, like, what are you doing? So it's good to make sure that when you go see your healthcare provider, you have the questions. Be very verbal and make sure you can establish that dialogue. And number three, just to kind of match it, understand that your body, you have a lot of organ systems involved. So things that you may account to joint pain, or I'm
Mhm.
getting more anxious, or
Mhm.
I feel not just the hot flushes, but just a difference in my sexual wellness and my libido.
Mhm.
All of those things can account to the transitions that you can be experiencing reproductively.
Do you think you said people come to you and they've been suffering a long time. What are some of the common things that might be happening and you're just explaining it away? Is it like, oh, like the aches and like, oh, maybe I just need a new mattress? Or, what are the different excuses you might make that actually might be something you need to talk to your doctor about?
Yes. So I would say a common one, or I would say the top three, is fatigue or lack of
Mhm.
energy. Many of those things can be accounted to not only stressors in our life. As women, we try to take on, we put our super
Mhm.
cape on every morning and head out the door. And many of those things can compound us in a
Mhm.
way where it can affect us, every organ system, really.
Mhm.
And then another one is sleep. I think sleep is the new sexy. I imagine
Mhm.
a day where we're talking around a cup of coffee about, hey, guess how much sleep I got last night? And I
Oh
feel
my goodness.
fabulous.
I call
You
sleep
know?
delicious because, someone who works shift work, I
Hmm.
recognize how precious it is. And I tell my kids, I'm like, one day you're going to wish you could have taken these naps I'm telling you should have taken. So, how do we
Absolutely.
incorporate more sleep though? How do we get better sleep hygiene? Because we're busy, we have children, we have aging parents, we have a demanding career. How do you make sure you are getting enough rest? Because it seems like, there's only so many hours in a day to get it done and rest.
Absolutely, and sleep and rest are total different things. I often start with the intentionality. We really have to be intentional. When I work with women, a lot of times I bring in kind of a coach's mindset that at some point you're going to have to set certain guardrails, you're going to have non-negotiables, and you're going to have to establish boundaries. And many of those things have to do with the hygiene you're talking about, meaning that we are going to shut down at a certain time and be more consistent with it and protect that time. Another one is being able to make sure that you're in a cool environment and not having so many things going on. A lot of people may go to sleep with the TV and feel that that's their only way, but
Mm-hmm.
they may not feel rested when they
Mm-hmm.
get up. And that's one of my popular questions
Oh, yeah.
is, if you got sleep, how rested do you feel when you get up in the morning? Or do you feel like
Mm.
you're on your third cup of coffee before
Right.
noon? A lot of
Right.
those things are changes that people notice.
Right, right. And that all trickles into, like you said, not just the energy, but also the feeling of well-being and mental health as well. So, how often do you recommend people start supplementing with maybe extra vitamins or hormone replacement? How do you figure that out?
I will say that's always a loaded question,
Mm-hmm.
because many times between ads and you go to your local drug food store,
Mm-hmm.
it's like tons of
Mm-hmm.
things that you just know don't know exactly where to start. Number
And so
one,
many
food
of
is
us are
thy medicine.
deficient in many
Mhm.
vitamins anyway. So it's just what are
Absolutely.
like your quick, every woman should be taking these, or is it hard to say?
Absolutely. Yes, so vitamins I consider your supporting cast. Food, number one, is thy medicine. So making sure that you're getting a well spectrum of colorful foods. And we can probably invite me on later. We'll talk about how that breakdown can go.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, when we talk about supplements, many of the ones that I suggest have to do with a really good sound multivitamin.
Mm-hmm.
Magnesium is a very common deficiency and
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes overlooked as part of your supplement profile. I'm a big fan of a good multi-strand probiotic because gut, when it comes to gut health, your gut is your second brain. So if you're feeding your gut, then you're feeding many of the other things in your body that make your hormones efficient, because your hormones are helping with growth, repair, your va voom.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, even you mentioned hormone therapy, Bridgett, many women who start hormone therapy, they'll stop there, but you really do have to have a more integrative approach to your healthcare, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that you're taking care of your mind, you're taking care of your body, and you're taking care of your spirit. And really acknowledging, going back to that self awareness, where you are in this season. Many of the things that you did as a playbook in your 20s, guess what, ladies? You need a new playbook when you get
Yeah.
to your 40s and your 50s.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start. Now, those are my top three.
Yes. And like you said, the sleep, the exercise, the diet, the vitamins. Where can we get more information and, connect with you if we want to work with you on, trying to get on track or just, live well, live stronger?
Yes, you can follow me at Dr. Larissa. That's DrLareesa on Instagram, on Facebook, or your social channels. And then come visit me. I have an integrative practice here in Orlando, Florida, where I see patients virtually and in person at Thrive Beyond Wellness Center. And let's get started. Let's
Mm-hmm.
start today. Don't give any excuses. Don't suffer. Hey, take it beyond May. You can do more, and just being intentional is a big factor. So that's my message out today. Be self aware, take that step, and you deserve it. It's an investment in you.
Yes. Good advice. Hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Bridgett. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.
All right.
Bye bye. So, it's great information. And, we love talking to our doctors about all types of topics. So it's good to get that in today. And we want to talk some more about sleep apnea. And so our insider guy, my co anchor, Crystal Moyer, has more on, some of the advancements with helping with that.
Snoring is not just annoying, it can keep everyone in bed from getting a good night's sleep.
It becomes harder to operate where, you have to be up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning because the kids are up and you're unable to do that.
Manish Amin tried lifestyle changes, but when those didn't work, he talked to his doctor about a sleep study.
An overnight sleep test can detect whether you have obstructive sleep apnea, which is when your breathing pauses during sleep because something blocks your airway.
Left untreated, obstructive sleep apnea can cause daytime sleepiness. It can also strain the heart and increase the risk of anxiety, diabetes, hypertension, and even stroke. The primary treatment for sleep apnea is a continuous positive airway pressure machine, or CPAP. Users are fitted with a mask connected to a pump that pushes air into the airway, holding it open while sleeping. CPAP can significantly reduce the number of breathing interruptions during the night, but patients often have complaints.
It requires daily cleaning, which is another thing to add to your day-to-day routine.
If the full face mask isn't for you, you might want to consider a nasal pillow or a nasal mask. Another alternative are custom-made dental devices. Then there are devices like Inspire that are surgically implanted in the upper chest like a pacemaker. They stabilize your throat during sleep to prevent obstruction of the airway. With no hose or mask to worry about, Inspire can seem much more convenient, but it's not an easy fix.
So many things to consider. You know, some people snore, but they don't believe that they snore. So that's what the sleep studies are for. Well, anyway, tomorrow, Kirk Park from 4 to 7 p.m. Join us in Montverde, 34756. Hope to see you there. We'll be telling all the stories about the community that you wanted to hear about. Come out, meet the New 6 team, get some free swag, 4 to 7 p.m. Hope to see you there. And you know, who knows where we'll hit the road next, but it's certainly been a great adventure so far. And we have some special things planned for the 4th of July as well as we get ready to hit the road. But it is a weather alert day. We'll keep you posted on all that on clickorlando.com. Weather-wise with meteorologist Jonathan Kekis is straight ahead. I'll see you at noon, and I'll see you right here tomorrow at 7:30. Take care.